And check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From big TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, it would help if I had pressed the unmute button, right? What's up, boys and girls? Lee Sanders with you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for this Saturday night of November 1st, 2025. We are minutes removed from WWE Saturday night's main event, where we've got some new World Heavyweight Champions. Come one, come all. So glad that y'all are taking the time out to spend your weekend with me. I hope that your Halloween went pretty good. I know for a lot of you guys, it's pretty much Halloween weekend, so the party is still going on and on and on. It's going to be going on until probably Sunday. Might even be Monday or hell, even Tuesday for some of you guys. I don't know how it's going to be going down, but hey, sound off. Let me know what you had thought about tonight's Saturday night main event. A couple of ways. Checking this out live right now, you can definitely post your comments. I see where everybody is coming from. I'll definitely do my best to show you love. Also, I got a poll up exclusive on Twitter at the RCWR show, asking you guys, what did you think about tonight's Saturday night's main event? So feel free to sound off on there and let me know. We'll poke our head in there later on during the show, see how that is looking and everything. Look, I gotta say, from a production standpoint, I love the presentation of this edition's Saturday night's main event. I love the fact that they incorporated this huge, big old stage over by the main ramp area, where you got to see the photos that's floating around on social media when you guys get a chance. WWE really went out of their way to make this have a big, special type of feel to it. They went into this definitely, it had that pay-per-view kind of mindset to it, or I apologize, the PLE kind of vibe to it with the way they presented it. They even presented a new video package to basically usher in this new era, if you will, now that Saturday night's main event, at least for the time being, is no longer going to be seen on regular NBC affiliate stations. Now it is exclusive to NBC's streaming platform, which is Peacock, which, you know, a lot of you guys kind of know it as, oh yeah, NBC's Peacock, like whatever, Peacock, whatever. You just know that it's under NBC and everything, which it was kind of funny. I had a couple of people that were trying to be technical with me about that the other day when I was offering match predictions. Never mind that I took 3 minutes out of my schedule to offer match predictions and encouraging people to sound off and let me know what they thought was going to be going down at Saturday night's main event. No. Instead, we were being technical, and it was just kind of, arguing with me or bringing something up to me about something from a technical aspect, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna lose that argument, especially since you're dealing with somebody that is officially a journalist major, because I always do my due diligence to do research before I get ready to talk about something. And worst case scenario, if there's something that I'm not sure in that spur of the moment, if you've been checking out the shows long enough, I always say, hey, I don't know the answer to this right now, but you give me until the next show, I'm going to have the answer to it. So it was really weird how some people were kind of being a little bit technical on it. I had a hearty chuckle, though. It wasn't in spite. I just had a hearty chuckle going, what the hell? And just, anyway. So, look, let's talk about the last couple of Saturday night main events real quick, because we need important context here. Bad enough that when this revival came back, fourth quarter of 2024, all the nostalgia, adding Jesse Ventura into the mix, bringing in Joe Tessitore, all of these great elements, right? And just riding off of the nostalgia factor from back in the 80s. Everything was great, right down to the point when you look at how the viewership numbers did for the revival's return, it was actually pretty good. Check this out. The December 14th edition, that did 1,590,000 viewers. Not too shabby, right? The January 25th edition from this year did 1,494,000, kind of, but then you had the May 24th slash 25th edition, which did almost 2 million views. This has been the best showing so far to date. And then you had the July 12th edition, which did 1,425,000 views. So, a couple of caveats to all of this. These numbers only cover the NBC linear telecast. Streaming figures via Peacock not included. Also, keep that in mind. The show appears to have peaked in the return run in May, dropped as we just covered, right? And then it dropped again in July. So, and then the other thing that you have to keep in mind as well, this isn't a weekly special. You can't even say this is a bi-monthly special, right? You can't even say that. So it's really kind of hard to compare and everything, right? But I say all that to add context to the fact that if you watched a lot of the Saturday night main event shows, okay, we saw that the first couple of events, if you didn't watch it, you really didn't miss out on anything. Whoopie freaking do. But now we are seeing, at least with the last three Saturday night main events, they've been trying to have it be a must-see TV, must-see event type of feel. And I'm not sure about you all, but I definitely appreciate that. Everything really started with Bill Goldberg. Say what you will about how everything was handled and Goldberg's limited speech afterwards, it got cut off, whatever. Just the fact that you did a Saturday night's main event, which had been built around Bill Goldberg and his send off. Okay, so you're learning from your past mistakes from when you brought the show back in December. You've been listening to the feedback that's been scattered out there on social media, and you've been using that time properly to fine tune this special. Okay, great. We're going to give the fans that incentive. We're going to give them a reason why they need to check out this special. So you started with Bill Goldberg, and then you follow it up with tonight's event by there being pretty much nothing but championships on the line, which is great. Guaranteed, so we think. I got to kind of tease y'all a little bit. A new world heavyweight champion, right? But then, nice little added bonus, we get more info about the details of John Cena's final match in WWE. So we get that extra little, that wasn't, far as I could tell, that wasn't even advertised. Now, I do remember watching SmackDown. That wasn't even advertised on SmackDown that we were going to get details about Cena's final opponent, final match, and everything, how all that was going to play out. So they really built this up pretty good. I personally feel definitely setting the tone for December's Saturday night's main event. Now, we did not get Joe Tessitore. We did not get Jesse the Body Ventura. I actually saw a decent amount of people that were wondering what's going on with Jesse Ventura. Why isn't he on this special? Hey, what the hell is going on? And there's all kinds of conspiracy theories that's running around as a result. Look, the one thing that I feel we all cannot deny is since Jesse Ventura was brought back into the mix, he definitely had a lot of people talking about his commentary on social media. Some people, I definitely was of the camp, hey, this feels kind of refreshing. This feels a little bit taboo. Some of this stuff that Jesse is saying, maybe we really shouldn't be hearing this because a lot of it doesn't sound like it got cleared with the guys in the back. But okay, let's just go with the flow. And then for others, they just felt that, yo, this is really cringe. This dude just sounds way all over the place. This dude, get him off. Let's not see this guy again. So definitely divided as far as Jesse Ventura goes. Look, for all we know, as far as why this guy wasn't on tonight's Saturday night's main event, maybe he had a prior engagement. Maybe something personal was going on. We just don't know. I'll tell you this. I did check out his social media feed off and on throughout the night, just trying to see if maybe he was going to put something out there. He hasn't been active, at least on Twitter. I refuse to call it X. If he's on any other platforms, let me and everybody else know. Definitely by the time we come back for the Monday show, I'll know if he's on other platforms. But if I'm not mistaken, I mean, his real meat and potatoes is all on Twitter. And he hasn't really been active like that in recent months. So I don't know what's going on with Jesse Ventura. I definitely was looking for him, but we didn't get him. Instead, it pretty much relied mainly on Wade Barrett and Michael Cole. So those guys doing back-to-back duties. You'll also be kind of pleased to know that as far as WWE may be filming something before Saturday night's main event, maybe filming something after Saturday night's main event, that was not in the cards. The only thing that went down was, as you all know, Saturday night they were in Salt Lake City for SmackDown. And then pretty much they had the same space, basically. Come on back 24 hours later, do the thing again. So there, not no specials is being recorded right now. So take that for what it's worth. Tonight was all about Saturday night's main event. Okay, so some solid stuff right there. Also, no Pat McAfee. Before anybody acts, no Pat McAfee as well. So if you're catching all of that, no Pat McAfee, no Joe Tessitore, no Jesse the Body Ventura. According to Dave Meltzer and crew, there is a report floating around that Triple H Paul Levesque allegedly was not at the helm for the production of this show. I don't know how much validity there is to that, but take all of that for what it's worth. Still, overall, I would gotta say, since Saturday night's main event returned last December, this was quite honestly the most enjoyable main event to date, for my personal opinion. Talk about some of these matches. We only have 4 matches on the card, so we kick things off with the Undisputed Championship match between Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. Kudos to WWE really taking the time to think about this match in particular and going, you know what? We need to create some type of a extra incentive. This match needs some type of a kick to really get people going. Well, wait a minute here. Maybe something can and will happen in this match. Maybe it's not a sure bona fide Cody Rhodes retain. If you did not watch SmackDown, boy, did they do a really good job. There was an incentive there. They pretty much had a stipulation added where if Cody Rhodes got counted out or got disqualified, he would lose that championship. You're going, oh, wow. And as soon as I saw this play out on SmackDown, I just said, from a psychological standpoint, this match alone just got interesting. All the trash talking, all the mind games, basically, that Drew McIntyre could be playing on Cody Rhodes here in this match. Oh, man, this is going to be good. This is going to be good. And I definitely was expecting for Drew McIntyre to really up his social media game, because his social media game, tell me I'm lying, his social media game is strong. It really, really is. So I was expecting a whole lot of psychological warfare going on all the way through to this match. And instead, what we basically got was a regular one-on-one match. I mean, sure, at one point you had a spot where Drew McIntyre brings the Undisputed Championship in the ring and he's getting ready to strike Cody with it, but Cody reverses the attempt, grabs the championship, and now Cody is thinking about clocking Drew McIntyre with it. And the referee's going, no, 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 you don't want to do that. No, 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 no. But I mean, really, besides that, this was just a straight up traditional one-on-one match. I mean, we did have a little bit of a bright spot where Drew McIntyre he takes the action outside of the ring. I remember he tossed Cody Rhodes hard over through the announcer's table, quickly rolled back into the ring, thought he was going to be able to win the championship on a count out. Just wasn't meant to be. So we saw a little bit of teasing going on there, but for me, I mean, for a lot of you guys, it probably was a case where, nah, man, the match was really good in my book, but for me, the match, it should have been so much more than what we had got tonight. I personally feel it should have been so much more, and it wasn't. It was disappointing. For me, they really should have upped the ante on the psychological warfare. And you kind of felt that maybe they were going to be going in that direction from the moment that Lillian Garcia was there. Oh man, she is so beautiful, isn't she? I mean, this woman is about to be 60 and she doesn't even look like it. She truly has found the fountain of youth there. But no Alicia Taylor. No Alicia Taylor, for those of you wondering. Lillian Garcia was here for this event. But from the moment Lillian Garcia was doing the introductions and Drew McIntyre interrupts her to tell her, no, 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 you're going to call me the real American Dream. You're going, oh, so it's like that. This is how we're going to do this. Oh, this is going to be a really good mind. You know what? Okay. But yeah, I was expecting for there to be a lot of trash talking. I was expecting for Drew to just go, you want to hit me so bad, don't you, huh? Where you want to hit me, huh? Won't you give it to me right in the crown jewels, Cody? Go ahead, Uh, I'm more of a man than your father ever was. Like, I was expecting some really, really, just some of the best trash talk from Drew McIntyre yet. Didn't happen. I know at one point, I don't know if this was done purposely or if it was a miscommunication, but at one point, Cody Rhodes tried running into the corner and go for that corner Cody cutter that he likes to do. And I don't know if this was a case where the referee was in the wrong place at the wrong time or what, but it just seemed like the referee kind of, oh snap, wasn't really supposed to be in that particular area. And as a result of that, we had a little bit of, I wouldn't really say it was a botch. I would say it was more so just a little hiccup. But man, Cody does the Cody cutter on the second attempt successfully, and then eventually we see the referee take a bump. You can see clear as day. He gets a bump to the chest. and the bump that he takes to the chest, I mean, he is on his stomach. I mean, it's really, really bad. He is on the stomach, and it's pretty hilarious because he's acting like maybe he's got heartburn or something. The referee is seriously, you go back and watch the referee. The referee is looking like he seriously needs Pepto Bismol or something. I mean, he just is sour patch kids face and everything. He's I'm like, dude, you got hit in the chest. And it wasn't even a hit. You got slightly bumped. It's really not that bad, my dude. Like, seriously, chill off of that already. It seemed like it was an eternity for the referee. I didn't like that spot. That spot just rubbed me the wrong way. I wish it could have been 10 times better than what we had got. Shout out to everybody that's checking out the live stream. You probably saw me doing Star Trek hand gestures. My webcam, I'm still getting used to it. There's certain hand gesture controls that basically help me control the camera when it zooms in, tracking, and all that. So don't mind me. Anyway, final moments of this matchup while the referee is still down, all of that. Cody, McIntyre, somehow they both come to their feet. They run into each other, double cross body. From there, that Undisputed Championship plays itself back into the mix. Drew McIntyre trying to use it on Cody. Cody reverses it. Cody ends up hitting DDT. Damn good spot. Cody basically taking Drew McIntyre. Bam, DDT onto that championship. Cody pretty much retaining the championship that way. Referee didn't see it. So, how's the referee supposed to disqualify Cody Rhodes if he doesn't see it, right? So, very hokey dokey the way this was structured. This had so much more potential to be really, really good from a psychological warfare, type of view. Um, and knowing how this match had ended up playing itself out and how essentially this was just a traditional one-on-one match, we definitely could have trimmed the time down a little bit as a result. This match was 20 minutes, give or take. Look, okay match, but if you're really being honest with yourself, should have been a lot better. From there, getting ready to go into our WWE Women's Championship match between Jade Cargill and Tiffany Stratton. Nick Aldis trying to convince Tiffany Stratton, yo, really don't think you should be doing this match. All things considered with what happened with you on SmackDown. Like, you really, really should be taking it easy. Don't do this match. Tiffany, not trying to hear that. She trying to do the damn thing. I don't know about you. All I smelled was dead meat. And boy, Jade Cargill tap, 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 tap that behind in true fashion. She beat that behind. Oh my God. It was such glorious, dominating fashion, too. We got ourselves a new women's champion in Jade Cargill, soundly defeating Tiffany Stratton. My God. That had to been, it was nowhere near a 10-minute match. I think it was maybe a 7, maybe an 8-minute match, give or take. Tiffany Stratton getting in a little bit of offense, but really wasn't that much. I got to say, as far as really, really selling, Tiffany did a damn good job, because in recent months, it just seemed like Tiffany really wasn't selling to her opponent. But I tell you what, she was selling like a mofo. I really wish it could have been a case, though, where she would have done a little bit more. Okay, I'm devastated by this move that I'm taking. Let me really sell this and stagger my way into the next move rather than, oh my God, you hurt me. Oh, okay, I'm coming to you for the next move. Let's go. It was just, yeah, those type of fundamentals, that can't be taught. You can't teach somebody to, hey, don't be so quick to just rush into the next, because you definitely want to make sure that your dance partner has enough time to properly reset, get themselves positioned properly and all that. But putting that to the side, Tiffany did a damn good job selling and bumping like a mofo there for Jade Cargill. This was all about Jade's powerful offense. I mean, from the pump bicycle kick to not one, not two, but three freaking power bombs. I remember at one point, right before the three power bombs, the action did spill outside the ring. And Tiffany did go into the steel steps. Cargill was trying to set Stratton up for something. Stratton reversed it, and you kind of felt as though, okay, well, maybe this is the opening that Stratton needs to get back winning offense, but it did not last that long for her. But yeah, three power bombs. Actually, the first power bomb that Cargill did, she went for the cover, and somehow Stratton kicked out. Cargill, pissed off, follows up with not one, but two power bombs, like back to back, basically. Then she sets Stratton up for Jaded new women's champion crown. That way, Cargill gets the pyro and all of that. Look, Jay Cargill, her work has gotten better. Major props to her. She's still a work in progress. She still has much of a ways to go. There's definitely no doubt about that. But compared to when she first came into the WWE, oh, loads better. And let's be honest. Ever since Tiffany Stratton came up to the main roster, and I don't know if it was all the great revenue making side quest opportunities, hey, you want to do Maybelline, hey, you want to do this, you want to, hooking up with a new PR firm to represent her. I don't know if all of that, I look at all of that as outside noise to a certain degree, especially when you're young and you've never come across all the decent amount of money and revenue making opportunities, that's pretty much coming your way. It could be a lot for a young person to handle, especially if you don't have the right team in place that truly have your best interests at heart and are going to give it to you right between the eyes. But I say all that to say, it just seems that the more time progressed, shortly after Tiffany Stratton won that championship, it seemed that all her in-ring ability, it just regressed. Whatever she was able to string together, like it just seemed like she was doing the polar opposite and just she was regressing. And I think that was most evident. What was the show she did? I'm trying to think of the event. Trying to think about the last WWE PLE, but I remember like universally, we all basically were looking at that match and going, what is going on with Tiffany? Like it really seems like I want to say maybe it was Crown Jewel, but let me actually look and I'll be able to tell you because there was one match that she had at a PLE where it was like, wow, she is really looking on like a deer lost in headlights. Like she's not really sure what the hell is going on here. I'm already on 2025. So hang on here. Let's see. 2025. Here we go. So I want to say it was maybe Crown Jewel or maybe something before Crown Jewel. Hang on here. So let's go back. Worlds Collide? No, nothing happened at Worlds Collide. No Mercy. No, definitely not that one. Heat Wave, Triple Mania. Wow, was it really SummerSlam? It might have been SummerSlam. Let's see. See if I'm thinking of the right opponent here. I bet you it was SummerSlam. Because I definitely remember talking about Tiffany Stratton and some concerns I have for her on the SummerSlam show. But if I see the opponent here, I bet you it was that match. Yeah. Yeah, there was something that seemed kind of off with her in her match against Jade Cargill for the women's championship at SummerSlam. I must admit, yeah, it's coming back to me now. I remember myself and my friends in the podcasting world, my colleagues in the world of podcasting. Yeah, we all were pretty unanimous that something just seemed really off there with Tiffany Stratton. It's good that they got the title off of her. It's pretty much been, let's be honest, it hasn't been entertaining. I mean, that's great that she comes out and she's got the whole "it's Tiffy time." And that's great. She's got that going on and everything. Like, but besides that, it's okay. So what else you got? What else you got as far as promos? What else you got as far as like, you know? And again, it just seemed like everything that she was learning prior to being called up. I think honestly, boys and girls, they pulled her way too soon. They really should have let her stay down there a bit longer and really string a whole bunch of stuff together even more and really get down. She was just beginning to scratch the surface of the fundamentals. So I hope that at this point they have her off TV for quite a few months, and when she does come back, hopefully we get to see a new edge in her and all that. But I'm glad that they did this because honestly, the women's division definitely on the SmackDown side of things definitely needed a reset. It really did. And I know that a lot of you are concerned about Bianca Belair and what her current status is. Because I know there was a little bit of rumblings going into tonight's event that maybe, just maybe, Bianca Belair maybe was going to make her return and maybe somehow she was going to get in the face of. I didn't quite get that impression, though. I kind of felt this was going to be a clear cut, and rightfully so. And rightfully so. So good for Jade Cargill. Are you guys keeping track at home now? So we've got Cody Rhodes, right? I'm not saying this just to be bragging, but I mean, just really stop and really let this settle in here. We've got Cody Rhodes. We've got Jade Cargill. We've got Ethan Page, right? Ricky Saints, aka Ricky Starks, the Heritage Cup winner there, and Alexis King. Like, and then let's not also forget our main event match for tonight's Saturday night's joint. All these cats, former Cody, Rhodes, all these people, one point, worked with AEW, and just it amazes me just the greener pastures that's going on for them in WWE. Just it's mind blowing when you really take a step back and you think about it. Next up, men's Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. Dominik Mysterio defending against Rusev and Penta, and successfully, might I add, successfully Dominik Mysterio retaining the championship. Love that Dominik Mysterio, hook or by crook, mostly crook. He always figures out a way to navigate those treaded waters. So I was wondering if there was going to be a little bit of interference there from the Grande Americanos. If you all had checked out my predictions, call that match style edition, I did question whether or not we were going to be seeing that. No interference by the Grandes. So I enjoyed that for what it was worth, but we still saw. Now, that takes care of that, but what about interference from maybe Judgment Day members? No interference from Judgment Day members as well. But I love how Dominik successfully retained the championship. So towards the end there, trying to make sure I'm remembering this right. I believe Penta had grabbed a hammer. I believe Penta had grabbed a hammer. And I'm trying to think who got hit with the hammer. That's where my memory is a little bit fuzzy because I feel like Penta maybe had went upside the head of I feel like Penta went upside the head of Rusev with the hammer, and then Dominik Mysterio capitalized on it. I'm actually looking at my notes right now. Yeah, Rusev got sent into the steps by Dom, the bell hammer. Yeah, okay, it's coming back to me now. Okay, so Rusev had Penta in the camel clutch, and the next thing you know, you hear the bell go off. And Rusev is excited. He's throwing his hands up like, yeah, hell yeah. And then it turns out it's actually Dirty Dom that's ringing the bell. And Rusev is looking on pissed off and everything. He ends up chasing after Dom and all that. Um, so the bell hammer, it somehow finds its way into the ring. Penta ends up picking it up. I believe Penta was trying to hit Dom with it, but ends up hitting Rusev after Dom dodged the attack. Don then sends Penta into the ring post, goes up for the frog splash, boom on Rusev, retains the championship that way. Look, it sucks that Rusev had to eat the pin, but at least you can look at that and go, well, not for nothing, but there was a little bit of controversy involved for Rusev. You know, you can still, oh, it took two guys to essentially beat Rusev and a bell and a you know, all that kind of crap in order for Dirty Dom to run out of there with the championship. Almost a 15-minute match. Dom getting the job done. You know, you keeping track of the storyline here. He's getting the job done here tonight. He got it done without the help of the Grande Americanos, and he got it done without Judgment Day, which really begs the question, like, seriously, who is gonna beat this guy? Because he is like just that damn good as far as resilience and just tapping into whatever cachet he's able to tap into. He's getting the damn job done. You know, plain and simple. Nice, fun triple threat match. I wish though there would have been a little bit more interplay amongst all three men. I felt that you had too many periods there where okay, it's just one on one while the third guy is just out and about just waiting for their cue. I wish there would have been a little bit more. I would say out of 100%, it felt like I would say out of 100%, it felt about maybe 60% triple threat, 40% one on one. Now, some of y'all may hear that ratio and go, "Ah, that's actually pretty good for me, Lee. I can work with that." You know, it was okay for what it was worth. Look, Dominik Mysterio retaining, like that's all that really matters to me. The guy is just doing no wrong. Everything that this guy is touching, and what we've been seeing with him these past couple of weeks between Rusev and Penta, and for everything to pretty much culminate here. Oh my god, I can't wait to watch Monday Night Raw because the trash talking that's going to be going on there from Dom to Adam Pierce. It's like, okay, yeah, you put me in this position, right? You know, no Judgment Day, no Grande Americanos. You know, you put my back up against the wall, and now what? Now what do you guys say? Now what are you gonna do? You know, I want to see Dom go into Monday's Raw with a big old swollen head, right? You know, like he's all that and then some. So, you know, we're going to see it. We got to see it. We got to see it. One thing that was pretty alarming as we get ready to talk about the main event match of the night, which was for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. And that's the fact that with all the history between CM Punk and Drew McIntyre, is anybody else a little bit surprised that we didn't see an opportunity where these two men cross paths on this show? Like, it would have been nice had you at least done some type of backstage segment where, you know, somehow these guys cross paths with one another and, you know, maybe wished each other, you know, good luck maybe sarcastically or something like that, or just a simple Punk, Drew, and just to kind of acknowledge that. Or you could have had it be a situation where Punk was being interviewed and then he gets ready to walk off, and then boom, whoever's interviewing him runs into Drew McIntyre, and like they missed each other, like just to I wasn't really feeling that we didn't get that little brief of a acknowledgement there between those two. But we get a teaser interview of John Cena talking with Tom Rinaldi that's going to air over the next couple of weeks. Now, look here. Let me know if y'all are feeling this from my sports fans out there, especially you basketball fans. Does it seem like somebody at WWE is taking their cue from the NBA on NBC? So, for those of you that are not NBA fans, what they have been doing on NBC these past 2 weeks since basketball has returned and premiered, or re-premiered on NBC, they have had Mike Tirico in these filmed interview segments with Michael Jordan. And this past week, they pretty much had Michael Jordan talking about the current load management in the NBA. And basically, during the course of this NBA season, the way that it's looking, you basically are going to continue to see snippets of this same interview that Tarico did with Jordan. Now, myself and others, we mentioned the fact that, not going too into the weeds, but, we mentioned the fact that, okay, well, it's great that we're going to see Jordan be incorporated this way, but it would be even better if we could maybe hear him with the broadcast panel at halftime, at least, something like if we can't have him be with Mike Tirico and Reggie Miller during a game, if he could at least be part of the halftime show and exclusively hear Michael Jordan's thoughts about, what he's seen in halftime, what's working, what's not working. And like that, that's what a lot of us were thinking was going to happen. That's what a lot of us are hoping is going to happen. Some people are also looking at things from a cosmetic standpoint, and they're going, look, if they're going to do this every other week, could they at least have Tirico and Jordan change their clothes? Whatever. But I can't help but wonder if WWE was taking their cues from Mike Tirico interviewing Jordan and going, hey, not for nothing, we kind of got to do our own little spin on that. So just a little bit of a teaser that they had showed. It was like, okay, this is kind of promising. This sets up a video package introduced by Barrett and Michael Cole, where John Cena narrates this, because who better to narrate than John Cena? We're hearing the damn guy narrate any and everything else, when you're watching TV and you get those commercials. So why not? So get this. There's going to be a 16-man tournament starting a week from Monday. So that's going to be the November 10th edition of Monday Night Raw, which is going to be in Cena's hometown of Boston, which, remember, Cena will be on that episode. So I would imagine Cena is likely going to be on commentary, right? Probably going to be on commentary. Makes sense. Going to be a 16-man tournament. And the way that this is going to be set up, we're going to see participants from SmackDown, participants from Raw, participants from NXT, and Cena even says you are going to see a couple of people that aren't even in the promotion. Like, you're going to see a couple of people that are outside of WWE appear for this 16-man tournament. Now, when I hear that, one of the things I say to myself is, so does this mean that we're going to get TNA? Is that your nice way of saying TNA? Or is that your way of saying, maybe Evolve? Or like, because I got to tell you, one of my dream matches of all time, and I've said it here on the show for years, one of my all-time dream matches, um, Hiroshi Tanahashi versus John Cena, because I always looked at Tanahashi as the John Cena and Hulk Hogan of Japan. But I mean, those of you that know your Japanese wrestling, Tanahashi, his knees are so, whew, his knees are so bad now. Like the guy, just seeing him walk, it's quite sad. You really feel for the guy, because all the crap that he has put his body through over the years, right? But yeah, man, we're gonna get a 16-man tournament, and the winner of that, basically, when it's all said and done, by the time the tournament ends, that winner will go on to face John Cena on the Saturday night's main event edition that'll be here in DC on December 13th. So I can't wait to see the tournament as far as the participants that's going to be announced. But I got to tell you, just it leaves a little bit of a bitter taste for me that uh, John Cena. Look, I know most of these wrestlers, they've said it themselves over the years. Hey, for most of us, we don't get to go out the way that we would like to. It'd be nice, but we don't really have that opportunity. Uh, I just, and we'll talk a lot more about it on the Monday show, but it's just been for me personally as a John Cena fan, it's just really been a letdown of how John Cena's retirement year has been handled. There was so much potential with John Cena as a heel, and just okay, so how is this all gonna play itself out? And then when they just did a hard 180 without really any explanation and making no sense by having Brock Lesnar beat his ass, and then it's just it all is just we all were in agreement that, what, not on Vince McMahon's watch. Say what you will about Vince McMahon, but Vince McMahon would have came up with a better outline for Cena than I can promise you this right now. If all the stuff going on with Vince was not a factor, I can promise you this right now. John Cena wouldn't have gone heel. I can promise you that right now. Cena would not have gone heel under Vince McMahon. I can promise you that right now. But yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where we'll talk a lot more about it on the Monday show. I think as part of the Monday show, we'll definitely reimagine John Cena's final year with the WWE and give a couple of outlines on how it should have gone down. What would have been, likely feasible, more feasible for fans, opponents, if maybe the list of opponents that he faced over the course of this farewell tour, if it's on point, if there should have been a couple of tweaks here and there. We'll talk more about it on the Monday show. One more match to talk about, and that is the World Heavyweight Championship match. CM Punk taking on Jey Uso. Now, I gotta tell you, I did pretty good in my preview and predictions. I got every single prediction right, with the exception of the main event match. I did not think they were going to pull the trigger and crown us a new World Heavyweight Champion. I was under the impression that the Bronsons, and I said this when offering predictions, that the Bronsons, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, would interfere in this. And, because of that, we got a burning cliffhanger that essentially is going to get resolved at Monday Night Raw, and, try to figure out from there, what's going to happen. It was just so odd seeing that the Bronsons were not part of the tournament in which Jey Uso won the right. But then, and we kind of get told the very next week in story, by Paul Heyman, hey, look, it didn't make sense for you guys to interfere, because if you would have done that, da 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 da. But still, as you're going into tonight's Saturday night's main event, it just would have been nice to see the Bronsons pop up and at least have Adam Pierce and or Nick Aldis say, nah, 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 we ain't having this, not on this show. If you guys want to watch, that's cool. But if you interfere in any type of way, promise you, you'll be suspended right there on the spot. You'll be fined. As far as that suspension goes, it's going to go down indefinitely. Like, we have it our way. Your asses are going to be fired. So you boys decide what you want to do. That would have been kind of nice to see, or whatever, especially if you maybe even wanted to have the Bronsons kind of sarcastically tease Jey Uso or CM Punk leading up to the main event match. Hey, we'll be watching, you know, because you just know they're going to be coming after whoever the world heavyweight champion is. So it kind of would have been nice had WWE kind of played that up a little bit and have that playing in the background, but they did not do that whatsoever. I would have even appreciated it if we would have gotten an interview with a pre-taped interview with Corey Graves talking with the Bronsons and Paul Heyman, getting their reactions to what they did to Seth Rollins, and then, hey, are you guys? You got to be watching this World Heavyweight Championship match between Punk and Jay. Do either of you guys have a preference? And they really missed out on a golden opportunity, and I'm hoping that come Monday Night Raw, they kind of redeem themselves and go in creatively on just some of these ideas that I'm bringing up and touch upon those things. Solid matchup though between CM Punk and Jey Uso, where we got us a new World Heavyweight Champion. Came in at a little bit about the 22-minute mark in CM Punk. I love what we got going on here. I mean, when you think about the emotional roller coaster that Jey Uso has been on these past couple of weeks, I mean, we've seen Jey Uso mentally break down at one point saying, I can't do this. I can't do this. I need help. I need, you know, we've never seen Roman Reigns, and dare I say, I mean, think about your favorite world heavyweight champion in WWE through the years. We've never seen anybody just go, I can't do it. I can't, I mean, it almost reminds you of that scene from Rocky 3 where Rocky is getting ready to take on Clubber Lang. Mick is having a health issue there, and Rocky says to Adrian, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do, Adrian. I don't know what I'm gonna do. And freaking Mickey, he's like, Mick is like, what the hell you mean you don't know what you're gonna do after all this time that we've been together? You still don't know what the hell to do? It's almost kind of one of those kind of cracking points that you're seeing here with Jey Uso, and then the insecurities that this man has been having, the lack of self-confidence that he's been having in himself and everything. So the fact that Jimmy Uso was not out there, and remember, we've been toying around with this idea these past couple of weeks. It seems that whenever something has not gone Jey Uso's way, he has point the finger at, other people, and he's definitely been taking it out on his brother. And we keep seeing whenever there's a little spat, Jay and Jimmy ultimately they do a BMF move and they go womb to the tomb, right? Basically, hey, we're blood, man. We're family. We can't keep. By the way, that's so messed up that BMF got canceled. I will talk more about that on Monday, but I am definitely very disappointed. Where am I going to get my La La Anthony fix now? Maybe y'all can help me out. Like, is she on a new series or something I don't know about? Let your man know. I love me some La La Anthony, man. That's one fine piece of chocolate. Anyway, um, yeah, but it's gonna be interesting to see like where is Jey Uso's mindset gonna be It's funny how a lot of people have been pointing out that some of the most recent videos surrounding Jey Uso, like title wins or when he won the Battle Royale from last week, how it got more dislikes. All those videos got more dislikes than likes. And like to this day, they're like the most top three disliked WWE videos on YouTube. And you can't help but wonder, if WWE is paying attention to, all of this, and if maybe they're even remotely thinking about turning Jey Uso heel and everything. You just can't help but wonder. But this was definitely for the Jey Uso character a really big test to see, you know, how long, how far he could go and everything. A very solid, decent matchup. I think if there was just really one main takeaway I would have of this match, I'm surprised everything went down cleanly the way it did in this match, and that there was not any interference in this whatsoever. Right down to the point, I actually polled the folks on Twitter, wanted to know who did they think was going to win, and I gave them three options. I said Uso, Punk, or neither. Bronson's were going to interfere, right? Just to kind of throw in there, and maybe I should have put in a fourth option saying, shenanigans is going to go down in this one. And the final tally, as it's looking right now, 10% felt Jey Uso was going to win, 20% said neither, Bronson's coming, and 70% of the votes that came in, people said no, CM Punk is going to win it. So very surprised though, it ended very cleanly. And but yeah, I just got this weird feeling that Jey Uso, that heel side, it's not going to be that much longer. It's not going to be that much longer, but all the ingredients has been there as far as Jey Uso, you know, he can't look himself in the mirror and okay, this is on me. I've had these opportunities and I just haven't been able to rise and seize the moment. And what the hell? And I see that just manifesting in such a way where it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be beautiful when he flips the script and everything, especially if it means that the person that is going to feel his wrath is going to be Jim Uso. Look, Jey Uso has had his time in the sun. I want to see where things could potentially go with Big Jim Uso. I want to see, because it's interesting. I always felt that what Jay lacked in as far as the microphone, Jimmy had that. Right? I always kind of felt that way. And then when it came to just being flashy and like, it's interesting how the brothers have carved out their own unique identities, It's very, very interesting when you take a step back and you think about it. But yeah, I'm ready to see what's going to happen with Big Jim. I'm ready to see what's going to happen with that. Good match though. Love this. Jay celebrating, or correction, CM Punk celebrating as Jay was outside the ring looking on with great disdain. They even had CM Punk, fireworks and everything. This man was actually able to celebrate this victory without anybody coming out and attacking his ass. As CM Punk is officially your new world heavyweight champion. I thought for sure maybe Drew McIntyre was going to come out, Claymore the shit out of him, but like, no, it just goes off with CM Punk holding the world heavyweight championship. So make no mistake about it. If the injury to Seth Rollins did not happen, if it did not happen, I truly believe in my heart of hearts that CM Punk would not have touched the World Heavyweight Championship. At least not that championship. I think the way things kind of seemed and felt it seemed as though maybe we were going to be going down the Evolution 2.0, Breaker in the role of a Batista, and look, it could very well kind of still be that same path, but now it could be a case where it goes a different route and everything. Not for nothing, but we could see a Braun Breaker win the Royal Rumble, go on to WrestleMania, and beat CM Punk for the championship. That very well could happen. Very well could happen. But um of the matches that we had got for tonight's card, of the four matches, honestly, I'm just going back. I'm looking at the card, just wondering if there was any match that, I could have done without. All the matches were pretty solid. Honestly, all the matches were pretty solid. The ones I enjoyed, let me go with this route. The one match that I enjoyed the most, definitely CM Punk and Jey Uso. If I had to go second place, I'd go with the triple threat for the Intercontinental Championship. Those would be in that order. Those would be my top two right there. But this was definitely a pretty solid Saturday night's main event. Let's see what you guys had to say on our next interactive poll here. Looking at the results, I asked you guys, how would you rate Saturday night's main event for November 1st, 2025, as new champions were crowned? You got four options here. I'm seeing coming in at 14%. Decent amount of you guys felt that the show needed more nostalgia, which had me bring about a interesting question. As I said, so if WWE no longer wants to work with Jesse Ventura for these Saturday night main event specials, like, who is alive that meets the nostalgia criteria that could maybe be a part of this and everything? And I did do my research. Here's some names. One of them, it's definitely a case where you go, no, hell no, that's definitely not going to be happening anytime soon. Like never, and probably rightfully so. There is a thing that says innocent until proven guilty, right? But still, once you're involved in some controversy like that, there's just probably no way you're going to resurface on TV. But still alive as of November 1st, 2025. For now, Vince McMahon. Remember, he was the lead voice, basically, like the entire run of Saturday night's main event. Now, fat chance of him, right? It's understandable. Like, yeah, no, forget it. Jesse the Body Ventura, safe to say he's done. Now, as far as backstage interviewers, remember Ken Ransnick? For you guys that love your wrestling and everything, he popped up around 1986. Pretty solid wrestler, too. He popped in right after Mean Gene Okerlund left for a bit. And he did the interviews and all that. He did it for about a year. But yeah, he's still alive and kicking. Looks pretty good for some of the recent pictures that I had saw of him. Craig DeGeorge, real name Craig Minervini, he replaced Resnick 87, 88. He is the Miami Marlins Panthers guy now. If you guys know your stuff there. And then let's not forget about Sean Mooney. Sean Mooney, he did do the late 80s and the early 90s Saturday night's main event. And he did the backstage bits on the 1992 Fox shows as well. Right down to the point, as you guys know, he was dipping around for a little bit doing the podcasting. So still looks very recognizable. Matter of fact, they incorporated, WWE that is, incorporated him with one of the most recent NXT in your house joints, if I'm not mistaken, from like within the last 4 years or something like that. Now, occasional on-air personalities, you got Bruce Pritchard, who basically appeared as Brother Love. I'm not really sure if that's a rabbit hole they want to go back down, but he was kind of part of that ecosystem. And then I don't know how Michael P.S. Hayes would feel about resurrecting his Docs Hendricks character. But I would love to see that guy come back. I missed the painting that was hanging in the background. When I used to watch WWE Superstars out here in DC, it would come on WTTG, Fox 5, Saturday mornings at 11 a.m. And then eventually they moved it to noon. And then finally it got moved to 1 o'clock Eastern. Uh, I used to love, catching up, seeing highlights. Maybe if I was lucky, I got to watch that one bonus match before I had to take some Taekwondo classes or meet up with some friends at the mall, go to the arcades and everything. But I used to love Doc Hendricks coming on out there. Hey, WWE fans, how you doing? Doc Hendricks back with you guys. Have we got a show for you? I mean, I used to love that dude. And I'm just picturing with today's AI technology and all that, there'd be a really cool way that they could, incorporate him and all of that. And talking about some of these matchups on Saturday night's main event. Even if maybe you didn't want to show him and you just wanted to do some type of a retro VHS staticky type of package hyping up the next match and all of that, and you just have him narrate over that package. I think that would definitely kind of meet that criteria there for the nostalgia factor that you all voted for. Again, 14% of you guys said needs more nostalgia. Meanwhile, we got a tie at 21%. Half of you felt it was an average, a thumbs up, and then the other half of you felt it was a thumbs down. And top dog right now, 42% of you are saying that it was a average show. I thought it was a little bit more, I would say above average. I would say it was an above average show. Look, you walked out of there out of 4 matches. You got two guaranteed new champions that walked out of the event. I think mission accomplished, quite honestly. I mean, Dirty Dom to retain. I mean, he's on a hot streak right now. No reason to take the championship off of him just yet. And then what does that leave? And then Cody retaining, with the stipulations and all that, I thought for sure maybe Drew was going to walk out. I thought for sure Drew was going to maybe walk out, but foolish me. Foolish me. That definitely would have really made things interesting. Definitely would have made things interesting. I'm looking on WWE's official Twitter account right now, trying to see what everybody is saying. Shout out to Samir, who says, as much as I would have loved the payoff happening from Punk winning it back from Rollins, I'm still glad to see him hold the title again. Meanwhile, Prince says, my dog is a 7-time world champion in WWE. All CM Punk has been doing from 2023 until he officially retires will be adding to his legacy in WWE, which could possibly make him a top 10 all-time great. Somebody wanted to know, solid match, but the buffering of the stream was awful. Anyone else? No, but I did notice, and I'm curious if this happened for a lot of you guys as well. I noticed during the first match between Cody and McIntyre, I think it was maybe 10 minutes into the stream, and it just froze. And I left it alone for like almost 2 minutes, and I'm checking to see if, because sometimes, my dogs, they're in the bed with me, and sometimes they'll accidentally press the remote, and it's like, oh man. But the remote was nowhere near them. So I'm going, why is it just, I backed out of the app, went back in, my internet connection was fine on my other devices. I was able to browse the web, get on social media, like no problem. But then I, tried backing out, going back into the Peacock, and I was still on that same freeze frame. Other than that, eventually it kicked back in. I would say at most it was probably a 3 minute freeze delay. But beyond that, I didn't notice anything else. I did not notice anything else. Let's see what else. Looking at some more comments from you guys. Shout out to Gio. This match could have gone either way for me because I like both guys. Not the woman that was sitting in front of the hard camera when CM Punk won the championship. Man, she was instantly giving a thumbs down. She did not care if she was in front of that hard camera. Uh, I like both guys, but congrats to CM Punk. Bet Seth's probably ripping his hair out right now since this is what he was determined to prevent from happening before he got injured. Yeah, Seth Rollins, he's doing his little double duties on the weekends. What's that? College football or whatever. He did touch upon his injury, saying he wished that it was a joke and that he'd be back very shortly. But he did say and confirm that he's going to be out for at least the next 6 months. Let's see what else here. And oh yeah, by the way, happy belated birthday to CM Punk. CM Punk had a birthday a couple of days ago. He is now 47. 47. Shout out to Sports Fan. Love this match. Old school moves like the headlocks and arm bars to start out. Yeah, that shit was good. Also, gotta say, there's definitely a lot of good selling that was done on both guys' parts as well. It definitely felt like a nice, cool throwback of a match. I will admit, as I was watching it, I felt like I was watching something from the old ROH days. I gotta admit. Gotta admit. Wow, now that CM Punk is the new World Heavyweight Champion, I mean, talk about a huge target on his back. Not just from the Bronsons, but I would imagine LA Knight is going to be looking at a crack. Yeah. Um, just thinking who else might be looking for a crack on there, too. You got to run that back with Drew McIntyre. I would love to see somehow Drew McIntyre kind of figure his way back into. And look, as long as CM Punk can stay healthy as well, I say to WWE, let the guy carry it until Mania. And, look, once you get to Mania, if you maybe want to do a winner take all, which I doubt that's going to happen, I would imagine Netflix is quite pleased with, what they got right now and everything. And then the fact that USA, they got SmackDown, right? I don't see, for those of you that's curious, as far as like a unification of the championships, the World Heavyweight Championships, I'm not quite seeing that right now. I personally would love it, but I don't quite see that happening right now. But realistically speaking, definitely CM Punk, let him hold it until, as long as he can stay healthy. And I think one of the best ways that he's guaranteed to stay healthy, if you're WWE, you got to make sure that you sparingly have this guy wrestle on TV. And to WWE's credit, they've been that smart and how they've been utilizing Punk, continue to utilize him in that fashion. Make sure this guy is only wrestling uh, at pay-per-views. And if you are going to have him wrestle on a TV show, make sure that it's definitely in the main event. There's only but a few minutes. And his tag partner is doing most of the work, and he just is in there to, you know, um, elbow drop, GTS, boom, end of the show. That's how you basically do it. Let's see, just going through a couple of more comments. Somebody said no cash in tonight. No, ain't nothing to cash in. No, like there's nothing to cash in, man. Uh, I wish. Well, I'll read to you guys one negative comment. Somebody said, "What a boring champ." Well, not everybody can be, you know. Ladybug said he shouldn't have lost it in the first place to an injury-prone Seth Rollins, knowing good and well that Seth can't stay healthy at all. Ooh, how you really feel, Ladybug? Damn, that was pretty savage. Let's go through two more. A lot of people are happy over CM Punk winning, though. A lot of people are happy. Now, see, I can't help but wonder what this is going to do for the ratings, not just for what happened. Like now that everybody's going to be checking out social media and going, "Oh shit, CM Punk won," I can't help but wonder how much of that traffic is now going to go hop on Peacock, see what all they had missed. I'm going to definitely be paying attention to the social media impressions on social media, including YouTube, seeing, how all those do as far as engagements and impressions. And I think it's safe to say that for the Peacock stream, I think it's safe to say the numbers are definitely going to be. I don't think it's going to hit close to 2 million, but I think it's probably going to be looking at 1,016. I'm sorry, 1,600,000. Maybe 1,700,000, give or take. Definitely curious to see what's going to be happening. Here's the thing. Here's the biggest challenge at WWE. I'll say this in closing. CM Punk has just been, I'm a big CM Punk fan, but these past couple of weeks, CM Punk has just been kind of floating there, just kind of going with the flow. It's been, and it's felt just a tiny little bit hollow. Now that he's the world heavyweight champion, as I always like to say, the chase is better than the catch. But boy, CM Punk, when he was champion, he would make things very interesting as champion. So I'm really hoping that whatever creative feedback he's able to pull, whatever he's got going on there, I really hope that it's going to be a joint team effort. Now more than ever, you need to get things popping. You need to make sure that things pick up a notch, because especially since we're getting ready to go into Survivor Series mode and all that, like, yeah, definitely. Hey, before we go ready to get ready to dip, I definitely want to take this time out and I want to recognize some of our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. I definitely want to give a shout out to my good friends over at justmovieposters.com. Halloween is now in the books, but 24/7, there is always need for a movie poster. All right? Especially now that the holidays are officially here. Because the scariest thing of them all, it ain't just Halloween. Nah. Scariest thing of them all is having a room that is naked with bare walls. Hook those walls up with some really great, affordable, and great quality posters from my friends at justmovieposters.com. Whatever movie that you're thinking of, they got a poster for that. Prices are all at a very, very low price. Shipping barely is going to hurt your pockets. Transform your space, show off your fandom, banish that bareness in that room once and for all. Check out justmovieposters.com. You can also give them a follow Twitter at JM Posters and on Facebook at justmovieposters.com. Make sure you spell out DOT and COM for Facebook. Justmovieposters.com on Facebook. We're also brought to you in part by our friends over at TerrapolPremium.com. Wake up your senses with bold flavor and smooth vibes. Terrapol Premium brings you top tier coffee and teas crafted for high quality energy. You guys got to check out some Terrapol Premium. They actually had hooked me up, and I gotta say, tastes really good, man. I'm talking good, rich blends, chill herbal sips. They got your daily fuel covered. Check them out. We're also brought to you in part by I Want to Learn SQL.com. Your next pivot in tech begins with a solid query. They help make learning SQL practical, approachable, and actually fun. So if you're ready to level up your data game, check out I Want to Learn SQL.com. Last but not least, we are brought to you in part by our friends over at the IME iRadio station, streaming 24/7. Your global soundtrack featuring the hottest indie artists, including today's top hits. Think of it as a world tour for your ears. Tune in, vibe out, discover your next favorite track and hidden gems playing from all over the world, not just the United States, but also Europe, Canada. The IME iRadio station, streaming 24/7. Speaking of shows, we got episodes available for you guys. Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR show. Programming note, me and Tams will be live this Sunday for a new Wrestling with the Topics. And it was so funny. I was interviewing Tams for, you guys will not see this, but I was interviewing Tams for a project I'm doing for my sociology class. And I said, I said, if you don't mind, I'd like it if, my professor can, see your face and all that. And she was like, yeah, sure, no problem. Like, not that Tams has a problem showing her face, because she doesn't. But then we were talking about it more afterwards, and she actually brought it up. She said, that was really cool what we did. I said, what's that? When we were, we were able to see one another, and we were doing what we were doing for your sociology class. I said, oh, yeah? She's like, yeah. She said, question for you. I said, yeah, sure. Can we do that for Wrestling with the Topics? I said, well, I don't see why not. And she said, yeah, let's do that. I actually want to show my face for Wrestling with the Topics. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. We'll do it. So look forward to that. Because I know normally when we're streaming the show live, it's just a thumbnail that we have. We're live, but it's always a thumbnail that you guys see. So she's like, no, I feel like showing my face. Let's see how it goes. And if the listeners want more of that, then we'll give them more of that. I'm like, okay, hon, like, sure. So tune in for that. If you're staying connected all throughout social media, you'll know when we're live. You'll get the notifications and all that. But to guarantee yourself a lock, show some love to the YouTube channel, youtube.com/the RCWR show, and click on the subscribe and all that. While you're at it, if you haven't done so yet, the same episode, make sure you hop on YouTube and give it a like. Really helps put more eyeballs on the content. All right, guys, that is going to do it. I want y'all to enjoy the rest of your Halloween weekend. If I don't catch you for this Sunday's November 2nd edition of Wrestling with the Topics, I will be back with another solo show of the RCWR show on Monday, November 3rd. 2025, as soon as Raw on Netflix goes off the air. Until then, wishing all y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you next go round.